This is Ghost, my daily rider, a 2012 Suzuki V-Strom 650. Today we are going to walk through some basic chain maintenance, including cleaning and adjustment. But before I start, a quick disclaimer. 1. I am not a certified mechanic. And 2. If you've ever been on any forums, you know that some people have some really strong opinions about things like fluids, tires, and torque settings. Ultimately, each individual who decides to perform their own vehicle maintenance has to make their own decisions. So do your own cost-benefit analysis, research, or risk versus reward study you need to make yourself feel comfortable. That being said, here is my approach to maintaining the chain. Start with a quick visual inspection. Look for any links that are kinked. If you have a clip-style connector, make sure that that's still present. I have had one disappear on me a few years ago. Check the sprocket for any signs of visual wear, and check the chain tension by moving it up and down. Now, I prefer to run my chain a bit loose, as I've found I generally get longer life out of them this way, but this was too loose. I've been meaning to adjust it for a while now, but life has a way of inducing procrastination. Before getting into adjustment, though, let's clean the chain. I like to use kerosene as a cleaner and degreaser. I've read a lot of opinions about kerosene being bad for rubber, but the shop manual for the V-Strom recommends it as both a cleaner and a lubricant, so I'm not going to worry about it. But if you are, there are lots of other chain cleaning options out there. Next, I use a brush to give the whole thing a good scrub. Then rinse with some more kerosene and then work back and forth between scrubbing and rinsing and toweling it off. After wiping off the bulk of the kerosene, I go over it with a mixture of water and some Dawn dish soap and wipe it again. I could and often do just let it air dry, but if you've got an air compressor, you can use it to blow it off and speed up the process. Since I need to adjust the chain, I'll just give it a little more time to air dry before I lubricate it. Only a few tools are needed to adjust the chain on most bikes. A socket or wrench for the axle nut, a socket or wrench to hold the axle bolt, and a means of rotating the adjusters. While not necessary, I also have an alignment tool to make sure that I'm keeping everything straight. While holding the axle bolt, loosen the nut. Sometimes there's a cotter pin that needs to be removed before you can do so. I have experienced a galled nut in the past, so I always loosen the nut a bit slowly. I don't really know if this helps prevent galling, but it does seem to set my mind at ease. With the nut loose, we can move to the adjusters on the end of the swing arm. Screwing these adjusters in will have the effect of pulling the wheel backwards and tightening the chain. I'm giving each adjuster a half turn in. You have to make sure you are adjusting each side by the same amount to keep everything straight and in alignment. There are marks on the swing arm to check the alignment, and you can use those, making sure you're set to the same marks on each side. But if you want to get more precise, you can check the distance from the adjuster plate to the end of the swing arm with a caliper or other measuring tool. As there is always a small risk of inaccuracy from the manufacturer, there are also alignment tools like this one that help visually confirm that you are in alignment. This is clamped to the rear sprocket, and it gives you a straight line to sight down to make sure that the chain isn't bowing to the right or left at all. It really works best when clamped to the top of the sprocket, but to do so on this bike I would have to remove the chain guard as well, so I have it on the bottom. You can see how the line of the tool runs parallel to the chain. Another adjustment check tells me that I have the chain tension where I want it, so the rear axle is retightened. And then I give the chain a good spray with chain lube. When I'm done doing that, I also spray the pivot points for the center and side stands as well. One of these days I should probably pull them off and use real grease on the pivots, but a quick spray each time I clean the chain keeps them moving smooth and easy. And there it is, job done. Thanks for watching.